goal in this activity is to factor the expression 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 6 by grouping. To see if factoring by grouping will work, group the first two terms and the last two terms. First, we factor 2x from the first two terms to produce 2x times x plus 2. We factor 3 from the second two terms to produce 3 times x plus 2. The remaining factor in each case is the same, x plus 2, so we can factor x plus 2 from these terms to produce the final result, x plus 2 times 2x plus 3.
With 4 terms can be a little tricky. In this example, there are a couple of ways you could try to factor by grouping. The best way involves first rearranging the polynomial as shown. Factoring out 2x from the first two terms yields 2x times 5x minus 4y. Factoring out 3 from the last two terms yields 3 times 5x minus 4y. We now have the common binomial factor, 5x minus 4y, which lets us combine terms to form the factored expression.
A, we want to factor this polynomial. Notice that the polynomial is the difference of two terms, 3y times 2x minus 7 and 8 times 2x minus 7. Look at each of these terms and decide what the two terms have in common. The two terms both have the factor 2x minus 7. So we'll write the common factor. The other factor is the difference of the remaining factors in each term, 3y and 8. We've written the difference as a product, so it's now factored. Now look at the polynomial in part B. There are 4 terms in 6x squared minus 15x plus 4x minus 10. In this problem, we're going to factor by grouping. Notice that the first two terms have the common factors 3 and x, and notice that the last two terms have the common factor 2. Group the first two terms and the last two terms. Now factor each group of terms. 6x squared is 3x times 2x, and 15x is 3x times 5. 4x is 2 times 2x, and 10 is 2 times 5. So we can write the expression as 3x times 2x minus 5 plus 2 times 2x minus 5. Now each term has the common factor 2x minus 5, so let's factor that out. The result is 2x minus 5 times 3x plus 2. The expression is now completely factored. We're going to factor ax plus 2a plus 4bx plus 8b. First check for a factor common to all of the terms. The only common factor is 1. Now figure out which factoring method to use. Notice that there are 4 terms. Let's factor by grouping. Find pairs of terms that have a common factor. Notice that the first two terms have the common factor a, and notice that the last two terms have the common factors 4 and b. Let's factor each group of terms. Write the common factor of the first two terms, a. To get ax, we have to multiply by x, and to get plus 2a, we have to multiply by plus 2. Now write the common factor of the last two terms, 4b. To get 4bx, we have to multiply by x, and to get plus 8b, we have to multiply by plus 2. The expression now has two terms. The key to factoring by grouping is that you want the two terms in the parentheses to be identical. Each term has the common factor x plus 2, so let's factor it out. Write the common factor. The other factor is the sum of the remaining factors of each term, a and 4b. So, x plus 2 times a plus 4b is the factored form of the original expression. Let's factor the polynomial in part B. Again, first check for a common factor among all of the terms. The first two terms have the common factors 2 and x. The last two terms have the common factor 5. There is no common factor of all the terms other than 1. Since there are 4 terms, we will factor by grouping. We already noticed common factors, so group the first two terms together and the second two terms together. Now factor each group of terms. Write the common factor of the first two terms, 2x. To get 6xy, we have to multiply by 3y. And to get plus 14x, we have to multiply by plus 7. Now think about the second group for a moment. Recall that we want the terms in the parentheses to be identical. Right now, both terms are negative, but we want the terms in the parentheses to be positive. Let's factor out the common factor negative 5, so the remaining factors are positive. Negative 15y divided by negative 5 is positive 3y. And negative 35 divided by negative 5 is positive 7. The expression now has two terms with the common factor 3y plus 7. Write the common factor. The other factor is the sum of the remaining factors of each term, 2x and negative 5, or 2x minus 5. 3y plus 7 times 2x minus 5 is the factored form of the polynomial.